Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today we're gonna be talking a little bit more about folding at home. And I have found out that you need a GPU to really do anything there, because just like Bitcoin mining, well, the CPU does some amount of work, but well, you really need a GPU. It does like 10 times as much without blinking. So you want the best of the best in GPUs, like this AMD Radeon HD 5970, which I have from when I was Bitcoin mining. I bought this one. I bought it used. Even back then it was a bit old, so yeah, it's no good no more. This is from 2010. I was surprised that it has a mini digital display on the front here. I thought, whoa, that's getting old, but we really need to put a GPU in our server, and I want to put a GPU in my awesome Lenovo X3650 Model 5, which is running here. It's already folding at home, so it's doing quite a bit of work here. It has a GPU in it. It has a FirePro V7900, and it is running. It is slow as heck. So I want to put a new GPU in there, and for that reason there is a box behind the box here. So I went GPU shopping. Well, actually just yesterday. This arrived really quickly, and I found something that I might be able to use. I'm just doing this for fun, so all you gamers out there are already yelling at your screens that I should have gotten a 2080 something Ti Super Extreme Edition Director's Cut. But this GeForce GTX 1660 Ti will do some amount of work. You can get, well, the fastest of the fastest will do about double as this one, but it will also cost 10 times as much. This was a middle roady thingy, so let's check that out. I'm not a gamer, so I'm just gonna be using this for putting in a server and letting it do some work. So it has a nice box. It even has some kind of RGB, which well, being a Lenovo server, we might go with the red one if this is something that we can pick with a button. I am not gonna be installing any software to do that. So yeah, let's get it out of the box. I went with a GigaByte. I don't know if that's good or bad. I would have really liked a fan configuration like this, where this fan brings the air through the graphics card and blows it out on the back of the server. I couldn't find that available with this card at my local PC pusher or hardware pusher. So, well, nice black box. Back in the days, you got a lot of good stuff with your graphics card. Now there's a CD, and there is a quick start guide, and then there's a box that should have hold a lot of good stuff. Not even a sticker this time. So yeah, that's about it. Kind of disappointing. Why does it come in this big a box when this is the contents of it? You could kind of ship like 4 GPUs in this box. So let's see it. I haven't had it out of the plastic. It's still taped, but now it's not. So yeah, I'm sure you know GPUs. I am not the first one to show you a GPU. And this is it's a gamer thing. This is my grid card, the one that I got for 100 euros back in the day, because it's broken. It has 4 individual GPUs in here, and 3 of them is working. The 4th one is not working. So yeah, this is what it normally looks like. This doesn't even have a fan. It relies on the air being blown out through the card off the server. So therefore it's very important when you put a GPU in a server to make sure that the airflow is right. It's gonna be interesting to put this in. It has a lot of connections here. It has 3 digital ports, 1 HDMI. I am not gonna be needing that, so that doesn't really matter. I bought it because it was small. It doesn't stick out here. A lot of the newer GPUs, they go up here and over, and this one did not. Plus, this one only uses one 8-pin power connector, which is also important because you don't have that many of those in a server. So let's go check the server where we're gonna be putting this in. But first, you probably want an update on how this is going. It didn't do very well. I wasn't able myself to figure out that limit of the 32 cores, but I got a lot of help in the comments, so I have figured it out now. I also took my workstation or my PC. It has a Xeon processor in there. It's kind of a slow one. It's an i5 2620. It's an 8-core processor, but it's not very fast. That one, we are looking at that screen right now. So, but it has a GPU. It has a AMD RX 480. That one. So that's the GPU and that's the CPUs. And I had a problem that the GPU was not getting any jobs. Apparently, the number of jobs that are available for folding at home, well, you don't always get good jobs for the GPUs. There's almost always jobs for the CPUs, but not as many for the GPUs, probably because they finish faster. So right now we are seeing what the GPU is doing, and it's working here, and when it's done in 23 minutes, I get approximately 54,194 points to my account. Yeah, this is just some, you can't buy anything with it. It's just, you can brag about that and not made that many. And yeah, I'm getting my ass kicked on my own team, but that's fine. It's I asked for it. How do you set up the GPU? Well, I figured that out. The videos are a little bit delayed, so when my video came up, I was already using GPU. But down in the task menu, there is the folding at home. If you click that, there is advanced control panel. So if you click that, there. And here we can see what it's doing. There's a work queue that has been downloaded and how far it is with that. If we want to configure something, we can go up to configure here, and in here we can configure the slots, and there is a slot for GPU and a slot for CPU, and I more or less just configured it. It's we can edit it down there. It's totally standard, didn't do anything, but for GPU you have to go in and add that and go out and save, and it was a bit stupid. I had to do it a couple of times and save here, and it didn't react to it. I think maybe, I'm not sure, maybe because I was using all the CPUs for folding, and it was so busy that it, well, couldn't be bothered. I'm not sure. That's how the GPU looks, and that's on the workstation. Let's go see how I configured the awesome IBM X38 X5 there, and we need to change the screen. The server is on the old VGA connection. There we are, and I swapped over keyboard and mouse. Right now I'm trying to do it without hyperthreading, so I went into the BIOS and I disabled hyperthreading. So I'm down to 40 real cores. So I've given this one 20 and I've given this one 20. I also tried to drag it down to 19, but it didn't seem to make any difference. So instead of just having one slot of 32 CPUs, I now have 2 of 20. So we can kind of go forth and back and see. This one is gonna make 4,000 points. I don't know why that is. And this one is gonna make 7,100 points. I'm still new to this, so to me this seems rather random still. So right now this is working. I'm not sure yet if disabling or enabling hyperthreading is good or bad, but well, that's what I'm trying to find out. Here we are on my living room computer, the one that I'm usually using. We changed the CPU in that not long ago, put in a Xeon 1275 V3 something, never mind. It's also running folding at home, and yeah, this CPU is not doing badly. It's able to do 15,000 points a day-ish. Takes a long time, but I need all the help I can get to stay up to date with what's going on over here. Let's update this. And this is the team, and I have been kicked down on 4th place again. So all of these guys are doing better than me. Yeah, so I definitely need a new GPU to keep up just a little bit. For that, we're gonna be putting the GPU in here. This is my Proxmox server on the Lenovo X3650 Model 5. And as I said, it already has a GPU. It has the FirePro V7900 Fire GLV. It's slow as heck. It's about 50% done, but it estimates that it's gonna be 11 hours, almost 12 hours before it has completed. And at that time, it's gonna give me 7,685 points. That's a long time to do that. Compared to that, the CPU, that's gonna give me 30,626, and it's done in 26 minutes. It's gonna hurt a little bit to shut this down. I am still not sure if it will be able to resume that, but maybe we'll become smarter on that. So I'll shut down this server and we will put in the new GPU. So the server is blinking here, which means that it's off. So we can go around the back. Oh, there's no lights back here. Is there? It's not much. Batteries are depleted. Oh, there's my flashlight. Okay. So, yeah, I will remove the cables in that. Oh, and that's of course the one with the most cables. That's unfortunate. But yeah, it's this one. It's also connected down to the storage box, which is off right now. It really does use some power. So yep, I'll remove cables. Oh, and Marcus, thank you very much for the flashlights. It's being used very much. Here we can see what we are dealing with. We have the GPU here. Underneath that there's a network card, so that needs to stay. So we need to take this up ever so carefully. The server is nice and hot, let's just say that. There. And here we have it. Have a very nice network card here. 2 10 gigabit connections. That was the special ML2 connector that is available for this Lenovo model. We need to unplug some of this. I see that this one has an 8-pin connector, or we can make an 8-pin connector out of it. So we're gonna dismount the cable up here. If I had another CPU in this system, which I do not have at the moment, I would be able to put in that CPU over here, have another riser card, and maybe have a card like this over here. So I would be able to have dual GPUs in here. This looks very cool, and it was probably 4 times as expensive as the gaming card that we are gonna be putting in now. But this is also not from yesterday, so I can't really find the production year, but yeah, it has done well. I have had some good experience with it. Now we're gonna try and see if we can fit this card in here. I see that we need to remove this filler here. This server does has an X16 slot here, and they do also say that it supplies 75 watts of power through that slot, which is important. GPUs get 75 watts through the power connection here, and then they get the rest of the power through the cable connection. If you have an 8-pin connection, that means that the GPU can get 150 watts that way. If you have a 6-pin connection, like this one, that means that the GPU can get an additional 75 watts that way. So with the 75 watts that it can get down here, and the 75 watts that it can get through a 6-pin connection, well, 150 watts is available. If you're gonna be using the 8-pin connection, like this one, well, you get 75 watts down here, and you get 150 watts here, so the card is able to draw 225 watts. Probably normal gamer knowledge, but it could be important. So let's get rid of this filler that we need to take out. There, take that out. Never throw those away. That network card is so cool. Be sure to watch the video that I did on that card. It's a special slot that Lenovo has put in their server, so that they are able to sell these cards cheaper than a normal card. If you check it out, the normal card starts here, and this ML2 slot starts here. But be very careful if you're gonna go and buy a PCI card that you don't get an ML2 if you don't need it. It looks so fancy. Let's see if we can hit that. Yes. There we are. That looks pretty good. I hope it's able to suck in enough air to keep the card cold. And the power connection is in a very good spot. Let's attach that. So we need to... These are the weird ones that you can put together, and you can change it from a 6-pin to an 8-pin connector. There, and you're good to go. So let's pop that in. So our virtual machine is gonna be missing the AMD Fire Pro when we turn it on again, and I'll have to go and tell it that it needs to talk to a new friend. I am a little bit concerned if too much air would go out this way. There is just this holder. So I put a piece of tape on top of that so that it will have a harder time to blow the air out this way, but it has to go out this way, which I think is a good thing. Let's put the cover back on and let's try this out. So we are ready to turn the server on again. I have a little bit of a trouble with my rails here. It doesn't want to go in. Wondering about that. Doesn't make any sense. Never mind. Turn on server. And it's on. So it will boot, and I'll go and check Proxmox and tell this virtual machine that it has a new working body. Okay, so Proxmox has booted again, and it immediately started using the CPU heavily. So I have the virtual machine over here, and let's just check if it continued where it left off. Let's see how far it is. It seems that it did that, so that is good. This one of course is missing, so we should probably just go and remove that. Oh, it just found the new one. I haven't installed any drivers yet. How did it figure that out? I am downloading the drivers for it as we speak. Maybe Windows just figured the driver part out. It sees the card, let's just say that. I didn't pass anything through. I just didn't remove the passing through of the old card. So if we go over to Proxmox here, we have the Proxmox up here, and then we have the virtual machine that is running, that one. My editing server, which it's definitely not doing. It has a PCI device here, and that is passed through. And if we go in here and add another PCI device, we get a list of what we can actually do in here. All of the stuff in the server that I would be able to pass through to it. And it has found a lot of Nvidia stuff right there. And it also has the onboard graphics card Matrox G200. That card has been used for servers for ages. A lot of network cards and some processing. That is interesting. So right now it's waiting for a job. Windows clearly shows that it hasn't found the driver for it. And if we look inside the advanced administration, it also says down here that it was not able to open the nvcuda.dll, probably not using CUDA cores right now, which might be why it sees a graphics card, but it's probably not able to use it because it's missing the drivers. I'm very surprised that it can see the kind of graphics card that it is. That's well done. I have installed the driver, and you can see that now it recognizes the card as the Nvidia GeForce GTX 1660 Ti, but it has an exclamation mark. And I forgot why it is that I hate Nvidia for this, but error code 43 reminded me why that is. So as the evil mean people that Nvidia are, they want to sell you the grid cards and the Quadro and the Teslas and the grid. That's grid twice, isn't it? Yeah. And to not have people like me and you put ordinary good graphics cards in servers, they've made it so that the graphics card will mess up if it feels that it's running on a virtual machine. I forgot that, and that is why I've been running with AMD graphics cards for so long, because they don't do this. I'll take this card out again and I'll move it into a server where it doesn't have to be virtualized. By the way, I do know that there's a way around this, but it's like a list of things that you have to do to cheat the graphics card to not know that it's on a virtual machine, and it just sucks. Okay, so I'm taking the Nvidia card out, and instead I'm trying to see if I can pop this AMD card in. It's not as new, even though it was so new that I actually had to peel the plastic off here. But this is an old, we saw that just earlier. It's an RX 480. It's not that old. I forget why I got it, but I think it had to do with my editing program that I wanted to speed up with a GPU, and it did somewhat help, but it didn't do much. So I'm gonna try and see if I can fit that in here. It has the issue of being a bit taller. You can kind of see that lip there from where this is and to the top of the GPU, where this one didn't have that as much. So yeah, trying that. Okay, that actually happened, so that sits there, so we're gonna try that out. That also looks pretty cool, and then we have this one to play with. Okay, so I stuffed the new graphics card in my PC, because that was where I took the other one. You can kind of see it in there. It has the RGB thingy that changes colors. That's awesome, I just needed that. And it is working over here, 2.7 some percent, and this says that it's gonna be giving me 716,000 points per day, which has something to do with how fast it actually is, and this job is gonna pay off 63,012 points issues. So yeah, that Proxmox project is well, that's gonna take all the weekend or something to get that up and running. So I went and I snatched out the GPU from there again. This is the AMD one. The new one is in that machine over there. That one, I just moved it from top of this one. I want to try and put the AMD in the IBM instead, then see if we can get that up and running. First I need to shut that down. It has been doing good. Oh, I am over 2 million and the group is over 30 million. Whoa. I'll remove power just for a good measure. There's a lot of room for it, so that's gonna be great. We have an 8-pin connection down here on the system board. Not easy to get to. Okay, I managed it. It really helps if you turn the plug the right way around. Just saying. And the GPU, really nice that the connection is right there, so it's easy to get to. Unfortunately, you can't really see if you're hitting the hole down there. Gentlemen, we know that problem. Ah, did I put that on? The rubber thing doesn't make it any easier. Cool. That looks nice too. And we're gonna pop in the power connector here. This is long enough. This is one of the first cables that I found for this back in the day, when I was first trying to get this up and running on a machine, on a server. On a Lenovo X3650 Model 2 was the first machine I had this up and running. Yeah, that looks good. So close and no cigar. I was just putting on the lid here and well, it doesn't fit. That's weird. So they have decided to put some kind of a thingy here. Okay, it's gonna be like this. So yeah, this card was higher, so I should have probably taken the card over here and put that over here. That would have made more sense. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That didn't work. When I turn it on, it does all the initializing, and then it ramps up the fan, and it ramps up the fan, and it ramps up the fan, and then it reboots. And it does that time and time and time again. I haven't figured it out. It could be a sensor that checks if the LED is on and you're not able to boot up the server with the LED off, but I don't remember that. It's probably because it doesn't like the GPU. I'm gonna try and take it out again. Holy crap, this video was just one thing after the other that didn't work out for me. Got a new graphics card. It's running in that PC over there. The graphics card that was in there, this AMD Radeon RX 480. Well, I need to find a server where that will actually run. I'm pretty sure that if I remove Proxmox out there and just install an operating system, it would be fine, but that wasn't really what I wanted. I've been messing with this all day. I'm kind of back to where we started. This is running as we started. This one over there has improved about 200,000-300,000 of these weird points, and yeah, this doesn't mean a thing, but it's a friendly competition. I'm sure I'm getting my ass kicked, that's for sure. The Proxmox server out there is running as it did before, also with the AMD FirePro V7900, as slow as before. Everything else is also back to normal. So yeah, I am not sure that you learned anything. Well, maybe what to look out for and what not to do. So please like this video, even though it didn't work out for me. And do visit my little store where I try to get rid of stuff that you might want or need. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so you can see me again. And have a really nice day. Bye bye.